Hey everyone, Kane here, and in this one we're gonna talk about another dual tower fight, this time against a person that is 19 million core, and I faced him a couple of times in dual tower with pretty much the same circumstances, facing both of his different sides. So in one of the matches he killed 18 skeletons, and in the other one he killed, one moment, he killed 14.25. So this one he killed a little bit more. So as you can see, quite a few of my heroes did a considerable amount of damage compared to his. We're gonna touch on that. So, Pet is pretty much almost the same level. The dragon, my dragon is pretty much the same. I've said this in literally every single video. Nothing new, nothing improved at the moment. In terms of his dragon, he has almost 1.5 million current power. Excuse me, his dragon has 80 million HP. Has Dreambreaker, he has Blessings, he has Dragon Scale, and that's it. So he doesn't have Void Eater or Aura Blast. In terms of talents, he has Tier 5 Destruction, Tier 4 Affliction, and Protection. So his dragon provides quite a lot more buffs than my own. In terms of archers, he does have a lot of attack. He doesn't have a decent amount of attack speed. Now I'm unsure why, because my own archers can easily cross this value to over 4. And with an event dragon, I think these Sylvani archers can go to 4.5 or 4.7 for me. So seeing 3.4 attacks per second on Sylvani archers is actually not really that good, and this should be looked into to be closer to 4. Now, I'm not sure, but from majority of the replays that I check, face, and lose more against, or have like severe casualties, majority of those archers are pretty much very close or over 4 attacks per second. There are of course nuances where the enemy has like incredible heroes and etc, but other formations, majority of those archers have like 4 attacks per second or even more. So again, that kind of has to be looked into. Then he has crit rate 83 and crit damage 320. So this is, I suppose, pretty decent. Now the other question lies how much magic damage he has and how much physical damage he has. If he has that, if he does, that's good because his attack speed is rather quite low. If he doesn't, then it's kind of a bummer because you do kind of want to have attack speed pretty high. Now, in terms of trees, so he does not have a Divine Covenant on any of them. In terms of tankiness, the first thing we look at is resistances, and his resistances are very, very awful, at least at the current stage in the game. So these resistances I was able to have before Covenant, before Armory, which means, like, he's not focusing, I do believe, 2 or 3 features right now in terms of resistances, and that is a pretty huge hit. So if you are able to make trees 199 resistances, right? 199. The current difference of not having that 199 is 46 and 24. And those values are pretty huge because those values mean a lot more when you have pretty close to 199. So from 190 to 198, the jump will be pretty huge, and from 198 to 199 is another huge jump in terms of tankiness. Now, I haven't really tested it or known in terms of Sylvani, but literally every single other frontline, like I can even use engineers and be just like 50 to 60 points less in dual tower. That's how friggin' overpowered the resistances are. So seeing something like this is like having paper thin trees. Regardless of the healing received, if you're proccing invincibilities or abilities or other things on your trees, pretty much healing received almost means nothing if your trees are being chunked 20 to 30% per one attack. So yeah, his trees are pretty weak and can be one of the weakest things, or rather one of the weaknesses on his field and why he's losing. So one of the things to note is his Rufio is built towards targeting dragons, and we're gonna touch on that in the video as well. So a couple of things to note in terms of heroes. So I've checked a couple of his heroes, and it left me surprised. So when you look at Teadrin, you look at a buffer slash debuffer. But when I checked this tier 10 Prism, I was like, maybe he's focusing HP and then he has a lot of HP. But no, that wasn't HP either. When I clicked on this and I have seen this, I kind of wanted to facepalm. So I think he thinks that this buff grants his entire field damage against undead units 50%. Unfortunately, this is only a hero bonus. There, I think, is a clear nuance where it says like allied hero bonus, or rather allied hero bonus instead of hero bonus, and then it works for units around the hero, or whatever way it's actually worded. If it says hero bonus, it only means the hero itself. And Teadrin doesn't really do that much DPS. So if you have this, 90% of the time is not going to help you out. So you have this tier 10, essentially a pretty friggin' useless set or array. And then when you go throughout his other heroes, you have some buffs, say such as this. Don't take it out of context. You don't have to have this tier 10, but I'm just gonna use this as a comparison because this is like the one I found instead of wasting 5 minutes going throughout all heroes again. So he has a buffing prism, let's say a true buffing prism, which means kind of a lot. Hero bonus increases attack and HP of all non-dragon friendly units, which can, I think, be 8% or 7 or so. And then debuff anything that focuses your archers. So if I jump with Rufio on archers, minus attack and minus attack speed. If my Valerie lands an attack on archers, it's AoE damage. A lot of stacks, minus attack speed. If Avril touches backline archers, minus attack speed. Do you see the difference? Like, if he would have this tier 10, my mages would hit his archers and debuff themselves a lot more than what he has in terms of this Teadrin Prism. Now, again, it's not only that particular prism. There are other buffers on your field, plenty of other prisms that he could tier 10 instead of something like this. And if you really want to go for these stats, why not just go into a 4 set? And there are plenty of prisms for you to choose, which has an actual strong buff, like allied heroes around the hero, bonus damage, or I just disconnected for whatever reason. My god. Then, of course, you have a 4 set for dragon regeneration. You have a 4 set for resistance reduction, or rather enemy resistance reductions, then enemy physical resistance reductions, and like majority of those things are in the rather 4 set prisms, and you can benefit from them more than what you are doing with your current tier 10. Now there are a couple of others as well in a few heroes, but we're just gonna touch, say, another one, and I forgot which one it was. Or rather, say, Ophidia. So, when I look at this Ophidia, I look at it as a DPS, right? A DPS hero. So, I check this is wave power, so this is definitely DPS hero. But when I look at this artifact, this is a support artifact. Now, some people play this for damage. I don't think it actually does damage or any more or stuff like that. Instead, you should actually have a useful artifact for your Ophidia, because you want her to kill heroes. You don't want her to kill a hero with 5 or 6 snakes. You want her to kill a hero with 1 to 3 snakes. Otherwise, you're gonna be just literally spamming all of those snakes on one hero, and eventually she might kill her. And if she doesn't, you're literally just wasting your abilities on something that she's not gonna kill. So this is questionable in my eyes. Now, I have built my Ophidia in a way that she does damage quite a lot of the times, and she does damage to heroes as well quite decently. So I have the staff. Outgoing damage against large units increased by 10%. Large units equals heroes. You use this hero to kill other heroes in the backline. So that is what you kind of do. Book plus 30 attack speed. She sometimes kills Rufios or gladiators or whatever is trying to reach the other mages. Kind of a suggested thing, at least in my own eyes. And another one, every like magic damage done or whatever, attack speed is increased. I'm gonna change this when I reach potential 50. I think now I need like 4 points more, because this was a fight 2 days ago, so I'm almost there and we'll change it. And of course the codex, and my attack value is 26. And I guess we can just touch on another mistake rather quite quickly. So he has a Valerie with a range build. Now the thing about this range build is that it's only useful if you have a very strong frontline. And as we kind of have seen, his trees are not really that strong. And this is pretty much removing likely 50% of Valerie's damage, maybe 60%, maybe 75%, just to reach very far into the backline of the enemy. So this does considerably less damage, but it has the ability to literally do fireballs to more than like half of the map. Like if you even place her in a corner or almost in a corner, she can reach 80 to 85% in like the entire field. That is how this thing or this range thing is, but it doesn't do that much damage if your frontline isn't tanking. And with these trees, I pretty much start breaking his dragon, a lot of his heroes, in rather like 15 to 20 seconds into the match or so. So this kind of a build, not advised anymore. The damage Valerie is always gonna be better, even for the passive stuff. So as you can see, damage, my Avril MVP, then Tisiphone, then Valerie, then Saizo. Quite a lot of people said Saizo doesn't do well without Iga Shuriken. So this is more of a scuffed build that I have. 5-star crossbow vengeance. He's level 65. Max research is tier 12. He does happen to do quite a bit of damage in terms of trees. So honestly, this was a pretty decent investment, but I don't think he kills those things very reliably. Since he's not level 70, he doesn't have tier 15 either. However, he does in fact help out the Tisiphone and stuff like that to kill those trees, which then again kind of is useful because he also has the debuff. Attacks of the wearer reduce enemy healing by 15%, max 5 stacks. So kind of helps out. Kind of I guess happy about even having him. So let's just jump into the replay and see what happens, I suppose. So let's see, 0.5 attack, or rather speed. I face 2 archer squads, so I cast Valerie. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cast Avril. I think she's stunned. Sorry guys, I'm a bit sleepy. I think she was stunned, so I use Rufio instead while I wait for her to be unstunned. I think I'm gonna spin and then cast Blizzard. Yeah, I was waiting for Avril, Avril didn't proc, so I cast the spin. His Avril was in the range of my backline. I think he cast it on my backline because you can see my dragon is burning. However, he had a dragon killer Rufio. Yeah, I do believe he had a Dragon Killer Rufio, and he was here. And he did not use his Rufio to jump on my dragon, even if he had that set. So that is kind of questionable, because he could proc my dragon instantly with that particular set. And now, as you can see, all of those dragons were proccing their specific buffs or whatever, and pretty much his dragon is just easy for the picking. So those invincibilities were proc, they refocused my mages ran closer to mid, and now they are slowly being refocused again and dying after they reach 0. And that is pretty much it. He's not able to bypass my very high resistance frontline. However, I am able to bypass his trees and even kill his backline a lot more reliably than he did. So he's lacking buffs, he's likely lacking selections in a few particular events. Pretty much what I kind of call account very much not optimized. And I don't blame the person, right? I can't really call people bad or good or whatever. Many formations that I do check, they're not very well optimized, because you have now like 10 features, 11 features that you have to kind of take notice and try to connect together, try to how can I say, combine them together, make them work with each other and stuff like that. And if you take one piece from one feature, then you take another piece from another feature, I'm just too sleepy, man. But if those features don't mix together well, they're just, you provide physical buff from one feature, magic buff from the other, and then you have two basic buffs, right, that give you just a slight boost, instead of, say, magic buff from one, another magic buff from the other, and here you have these mages frigging exploding everything, right? The simplest of explanation is if I just even go to a reliquary and people will instantly understand. So let's just go into reliquary instantly on the last page. So we see something like this. Increases hero's attack and increases magic damage dealt 42%. And this physical damage 42%. So if your magic heroes don't have this 42%, they're gonna be doing a lot less damage. And I do mean a lot less. Now, if your physical heroes don't have this 42%, they're also gonna do a lot less damage. So you have plenty of features where you have to make some of these choices, and you just cannot really have both physical and magical so incredibly decked out, because a person like me is just gonna go all out on, let's say, mages, and it's not like I'm cheesing the build or the game or the formation. I'm just investing into something that is actually pretty decent and something like where the game is actually going towards. Like, even let's go to armory, right? I'm just gonna even make this video longer, sorry guys. Armory, right? Weapon increases attack on mages and whatever necromancers. You have another weapon after a few skills, increases rogues physical damage. Like, do you see where the game is going? It has physical on one side and has magical on one side, and you cannot really mix them well because there's so many buffs, so many debuffs, that in the end you're not really well optimizing if you're going for both of them. And this person did in fact do that, and that is what kind of is happening in my eyes. And this is not the person alone, quite a few others are doing that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry guys, probably 20 minutes long, but I guess I just wanted to explain everything, more or less showcase the mistakes. I suppose even further mistakes across quite a few players as well. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you learned something new, and if you did, do hit that subscribe button, it would help me out a lot. As well as if you wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where if you would support me, I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of formations, PvP, heroes, perhaps even some events. As well as I would like to thank two of my Patreons, Scott and Near, for the subscription. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and stay safe out there.